Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm up in the Bungaloha looking out the window to the east. And I've got a new 12-pound baby right here. And like I was telling you guys in a previous video, I was going to reconfigure a lot of this stuff as I started adding some more blue Victron devices. And this just came in, and I'm very excited about it. And this thing's a tank, I'm telling you. 12 pounds, and I mean, it's a very solid unit. Very heavy. I didn't expect it to be that heavy, actually. But, yeah, and 800 watts. That's going to be enough for up here. I don't need anything more. I've been running this 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter up here the whole time, and it does just fine. But over time, like I said, I'm going to turn this into the blue wall. I've got the Victron 130 MPPT up there, and I've got 200 amp hours worth of batteries sitting there in float right at the moment. Got up to a full charge today on 400 watts. So it's getting to be late afternoon, and I'm going to start putting this into place. I think I got everything I need. Let's make this wall blue. And besides the inverter, I got the smart shunt here. And we're going to put that in and take out the shunt that I am using, which I do like the shunt that I am using, but I am going to have it to where I can look at everything going on with my Victron system, since they all talk to each other. And with their apps, just at a glance on one of my devices, I'm going to be able to see exactly what's going on with everything. The inverter, the batteries, and of course the solar through the charge controller. So this is going to be a real nice addition as well. I've watched a lot of you guys use this and love it, and I know I'm going to love it, and I can't wait to get this in as well. And I'm also going to bring that dongle. I'm going to take it off of that 24-volt system I've got and put the dongle in here too. So just at a glance on one of my devices, I'm going to be able to really see what's going on with every little Victron device. So, and that's going to really help me up here in the shop for doing battery tests and whatnot, being able to look on the app and see what's going on with the batteries, you know, the capacity and drawdowns and all of that kind of stuff that we like to see what's going on. So, yeah, super excited. Now I've just got to start turning some wrenches and screws. And before I put it up on the wall where I won't be able to get to the back of it so good with the camera, I'll show you what it looks like in the back of the inverter here. You can, you know, see your cable connections here. And I've got them opened up all the way, and I can just get the end of my finger in there. So nice big connection. And you can really screw them down good right there too, as you can see. And they recommend 16 millimeter, which is this wire for the inverter connection. And I'm going to cut this off cleaner. This is just some that I've got around here that I'm going to use. So I'll cut those off and make them nice and clean. But you can see that's just about going to be a perfect fit right there. And then it has a 3-position toggle switch. It's got the eco mode on this. So if you put it in eco mode, it'll just pulse constantly, search for a load. Otherwise, it's just in a kind of a rest position. But, you know, every few seconds, it just checks to see if there's a load on it, and then it would turn on automatically. Or then the middle position is off, or you could just leave it on if you have something that's running 24/7. So I'll probably up here, not sure what position I'll be leaving that in until I get more things tied up in here. There's your ground lug right there. There's a remote there, and the VE direct port right there. And there is I believe there's a VE direct port. I haven't got too far into all of this stuff here, but I'm pretty sure right there, I'm pretty sure that would plug in there. Looks like it would. Yeah. So I'll see as I get it further along. Not totally sure where that's going to go, but both of these have good instructions, so I will be reading those. And then on the front side, it just has one AC output. So I'll just plug in a power strip to there to run, you know, several different things up here at any given time. And the bottom of it is just basically flat. I mean, there's a little lip up here, but not much. And then, of course, your screw holes on top and bottom. So, but yeah, very, very solid. And I'll show you right there. And looking at the instructions on that shunt, it looks like that VE direct for the shunt is for if you want to hook up that GX device, which I may get one of those at some point, but probably not for a little while. I'll see if I can apply that up here for my needs. I don't know that much about that one right now, but so I'm guessing then, got my cat up here pushing the camera around, that the VE direct here will be for that dongle that I've got, and that's how I've got it hooked into that 24 volt inverter. The dongle goes into there and then gives you a readout on the app of how much the inverter is pulling. So yeah, I guess that's for the GX device on the shunt. So at least that's what it says there. So probably just stick the dongle right there. And because it's a Victron, even their instruction booklet is quite good. Everything you'd want to know about this is in there. This inverter will take a peak power surge of 1500 watts. I don't know for how long it would do that, but at any rate, if I had something that needed to go up to 1500 watts for a little bit, I could. Otherwise, it can run 800 watts continuous. And like I said, I really don't have anything that I'm going to be using up here that is going to be a need for larger than 800 watts. I did think about getting the 1200 watt model of the Phoenix, and then I just decided that 800 watts was going to be absolutely fine for up here. So that's why I went with that. And I may not have to move too much stuff around here. It might be okay. So what I'm thinking is I'll just put the inverter over here, and you know, I'm going to disconnect this shunt, and once I take this inverter negative and inverter positive out of there, and of course move it out of here, move the shunt out of here, that's going to clean it up quite a bit, just like moving those out. And then with that wire coming off the back of the inverter, I'll be able to catch those bus bars pretty easy. Use that same fuse on there. So yeah, that should work out pretty good. So this is just kind of looks a little messy because, you know, I've got some longer battery cables in case I have different battery configurations and sizes up here for testing and whatnot. I've got enough length. I've got, you know, a 3-footer back there and a 3-footer right there coming in. So yeah, I'm thinking I'll put that inverter right there. That'll tie into those bus bars pretty good. And then I'll be able to tie that shunt in there somewhere too. So I'm gonna go with the recommended wire size like I showed you. And the other thing that it recommends is using a 125 amp fuse on here. And I just happen to have, and I've had this for a couple of years, and that is actually a Victron fuse, 125 amps. So I bought that a couple of years ago, and I don't believe I've ever even tied it up into anything that I've built or disassembled. So that's a brand new 125 amp Victron fuse right there, which is what they recommend on this. So that's good too. So I've got that. So that's the last little piece that I'll need to make this all go together. So what I think I'll do is just connect everything right now and call it a night, because once I disconnect everything, I'm not going to have any power up here, and I'm going to need light for this. So I'll probably go ahead and just come in here in the morning and snap all this together, and I'll come back in like a part 2 and show you what everything looks like and how it's running, and we'll look at the apps and see how everything's talking to each other and what the end result looks like. So yeah, I think that's the idea. I had better hopes that I'd get a little further this afternoon, but it's going to be, once I turn that light out, a little too dark in here for me. So although I do have a power station, I could run some lights, but I'm getting tired. Okay, so yeah, we're going to hook this inverter up, the shunt. And of course, we've got the great charge controller already there. And that's going to be a pretty nice patch of blue here coming up. All right, guys, I'll be back in a day or so and show you what that final result looks like. Pretty excited. Starting to rain just a little bit right now. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Aloha. Yeah, it's time to it's time to rest. Almost dropped the phone. And now that I've told you guys all what's going to happen in here, if you have any suggestions here in the next day or so, I'll get this video up. And then tomorrow I should be up and running, and I'll film everything about that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If I overlooked something, which it's possible I have. Okay, later.